Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Khan, and today we're diving into the mysterious case of Magdalena Żuk. There are going to be some tricky Polish and Egyptian names in this video, so bear with me as I try to pronounce them. On April 29, 2017, Magdalena Żuk, a 27-year-old woman from Poland, tragically died under mysterious circumstances while on a solo vacation in Egypt. What was initially supposed to be a relaxing trip to celebrate her boyfriend's birthday turned into a chilling and perplexing mystery that continues to spark controversy and debate. The circumstances surrounding her death are bizarre, and while Egyptian authorities ruled her death a suicide, many believe there was more to the story. The start of a tragic journey. Magdalena was a young, vibrant woman who owned a beauty salon in the town of Bogatynia, Poland. Her life seemed to be going well, and in April 2017, she decided to surprise her boyfriend, Marcus, with an all-expenses-paid trip to a luxurious resort in Hurghada, Egypt, to celebrate his upcoming birthday. Unfortunately, Marcus couldn't join her because his passport had expired. After unsuccessfully trying to sell the tickets on social media, Magdalena decided to go on the trip alone. Arriving in Hurghada on April 26th, just after midnight, Magdalena's solo vacation began. However, from the very start, something felt off. Traveling alone to a foreign country is already a challenging experience for many, but things took a much stranger turn soon after she checked into her hotel. Almost immediately, Magdalena began displaying unusual and erratic behavior. Signs of distress. Within hours of arriving, Magdalena sent disturbing messages to her friends and family in Poland. She claimed that she was hearing strange voices in her hotel room, and that something felt terribly wrong. Her behavior became more erratic as she spent time at the resort. Hotel staff reported seeing her in the lobby, shouting down the phone and waving her arms around wildly. There was even a video showing her lying motionless in the doorway of her hotel room, dressed only in a bathrobe. It was clear to anyone observing that she was in a state of extreme distress, though the reasons for this were unclear at the time. Her family, back in Poland, became increasingly worried. They were receiving strange and cryptic texts from Magdalena's phone, including messages like, "Where are you? Come to me." Even more disturbing was the fact that these messages were coming from the phone of a travel agency employee, a man named Mahmoud Khairi, rather than Magdalena's own phone. Mahmoud's involvement in the situation raised alarm bells. While it was unclear exactly what his role was, he seemed to be one of the few people in contact with Magdalena during her time at the resort. Videos recorded by hotel staff showed her in a clearly troubled state, with the staff asking her family to come and take her home. Concerned for her well-being, Marcus decided to send a friend to Egypt to help Magdalena, but the soonest they could arrive was several days later. Escalation and hospitalization. By April 27th, Magdalena's condition worsened to the point that she was taken to a hospital in Hurghada. It's unclear whether she was taken there voluntarily or against her will, but upon arrival, she was either not treated or refused treatment. Some reports suggest that the hospital did not specialize in mental health issues, while others believe that Magdalena simply declined medical care. A doctor at the hospital stated that she refused to leave the car upon arrival, but surveillance footage from the hospital later showed Magdalena walking in, albeit looking confused and disoriented. Despite being in a hospital, Magdalena was not improving. She was released and returned to the hotel, but things only got worse. On the morning of April 29th, she checked out of her hotel and headed to the airport, attempting to return to Poland. However, her erratic behavior led airport authorities to deny her boarding, fearing that she was in no state to fly. She then tried to check back into the hotel, but was refused entry due to her earlier behavior. Desperate and alone, Magdalena wandered around the area, trying to find another hotel. During this time, Mahmoud Khairi, the travel agency employee, video called her boyfriend Marcus using his phone once again. During the call, Magdalena appeared terrified, and it seemed as though she was unable to speak freely. When Marcus asked her what had happened, she replied in vague terms, saying she couldn't explain. At one point, she cryptically mentioned the name M, leaving Marcus to wonder if she was referring to Mahmoud. But when pressed for details, Magdalena didn't elaborate, and soon after, Mahmoud himself appeared on the call, further deepening the mystery. The final hours. Magdalena's behavior continued to deteriorate. She was taken back to the hospital, and this time, she was restrained to a bed with towels, likely for her own safety. However, things took a tragic turn when a nurse untied her, so she could use the bathroom. In a sudden burst of panic, Magdalena attacked the nurse and made a desperate attempt to escape by jumping out of a second-story window. She landed on concrete steps below, suffering severe injuries. She was immediately transferred to another hospital, but her injuries were too severe. Magdalena Żuk died the following morning on April 30, 2017, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. The theories and speculations. As news of Magdalena's death spread, theories about what might have happened to her began to surface. The official cause of death was ruled a suicide, but many found this conclusion hard to accept. One popular theory was that she had been the target of an attempted kidnapping or human trafficking ring, possibly involving Mahmoud. Others believed that she may have been drugged, causing her erratic behavior, or that she was a victim of foul play orchestrated by people she had met at the resort. Some even speculated that her boyfriend Marcus could have been involved in a larger plot. Unsubstantiated rumors circulated that he was a drug dealer and had used Magdalena as a mule to smuggle narcotics into Egypt. Other versions suggested that he had sold her into some form of trafficking, but there was no solid evidence to back up these claims. In fact, Marcus had only learned about the trip hours before Magdalena left for Egypt, making the idea of premeditated involvement seem less likely. The autopsy and official findings. 2 autopsies were conducted, one in Egypt and another in Poland, and both confirmed that Magdalena had not been subjected to violence or sexual assault. The only drugs found in her system were antipsychotic medications, likely administered during her hospitalization. Despite these findings, many in Poland were not convinced by the official reports. The Polish media, in particular, fueled the narrative that Magdalena had been murdered. An online poll conducted by a popular Polish tabloid showed that over 90% of respondents believed she had been killed, rather than having taken her own life. The case even attracted the attention of Krzysztof Rutkowski, a well-known Polish reality TV star and private investigator. Initially, Rutkowski doubted the Egyptian authorities' version of events, theorizing that Magdalena had been drugged by an organized crime group, possibly with Mahmoud's involvement. However, after reviewing the autopsy results and further investigating, Rutkowski concluded that Magdalena's death was likely a tragic suicide, possibly brought on by an undiagnosed mental health crisis. Conclusion. In the end, the case of Magdalena Żuk remains a deeply unsettling and tragic mystery. While the official cause of death was suicide, the strange circumstances surrounding her final days in Egypt continue to raise questions. Was Magdalena suffering from a sudden mental health crisis? Or was there something more sinister at play? Despite extensive investigations, the full truth may never be known. Magdalena's story serves as a reminder of the vulnerabilities travelers can face when alone in foreign countries, and the complex nature of mental health issues that can arise unexpectedly. While her death may never be fully explained, the impact of her tragic story continues to resonate with those who followed her case. The death of Magdalena Żuk has left a deep scar in the hearts of her family, friends, and countless people who followed her case. The official ruling of suicide did little to comfort those who believed something darker had happened to her in Egypt. Whether Magdalena was the victim of a psychotic episode, foul play, or an unfortunate series of events, the tragedy is undeniable. Her life was cut short in the most mysterious and heartbreaking way. Despite investigations, autopsies, and countless theories, the full truth behind what led to her death remains elusive. For many, Magdalena's case serves as a haunting reminder of how quickly life can spiral out of control, especially in unfamiliar surroundings where language barriers, isolation, and fear can take a devastating toll. To this day, her family continues to search for closure, though they may never receive the answers they seek. Magdalena's story remains a testament to the importance of mental health awareness, the dangers of traveling alone, and the heartbreaking consequences of a tragedy that still leaves more questions than answers. Magdalena Żuk's legacy lives on, not in how she died, but in how her story has touched so many people across the world. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Crime Stories channel.